Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Cynthia Keene with Keene Adventures, and we are in the series 52 Weeks to Portugal. After a short discussion with my husband, who said, do whatever I like, if I want to move forward with it sooner or push the date back later for our actual move date to Portugal from our original July date, either to move it forward to April or to move it back to August. He said whichever would make him happy and he'd be fine with whatever decision I made. So I consulted with my puppy Nala for a little bit longer on the decision to actually go through the pros and cons of moving the date forward or moving the date back. And I think we came to the conclusion that it made more sense to move it forward by 5 weeks to see if we can make that date work for us. I reached out to a company, and I'm going to put their name down below here so that you can see what the name is. I'm not sure how to pronounce the first name. The second name is Dreams, but hopefully they can assist us with our move to Portugal. They had 7 criteria in order to work with them. We met all of the requirements, so that was good. We only have one pet that we're moving with us. Our daughter will be coming with us. She will be on her own visa though, so that should not be an issue. We are not relying on selling our house in order to move over. In addition to that, we have not started the D7 visa process because we're still waiting on Tim's passport to come back. It's still in the process of being renewed, and it should take probably another 2 months. So I wanted to go ahead and reach out to them to see if they could start working with me on, I know we need to get the NIF number, I know that we need to set up a bank account over in Portugal, and I know that we'll need to go through the security checks and set up the appointment for the D7 visa application. And some of this stuff will need to start fairly soon, but we do have some time so that we can make sure that we have everything in order so that we can move forward in a timely manner so that we can meet that new date of moving over to Portugal in mid-May of 2024. So we're looking at shortening our timeline from the original 52 weeks to Portugal to now being down to 43 weeks till we move instead of 48 weeks. So we're only talking about 5-6 weeks difference. So we should be able to manage that, I think. So with that being said, I will wait until next week to update you to see how we're moving along with the company, to see if they're able to assist us in our move over to Portugal and what kind of services they'll be able to offer us, and we'll be working with them on. So I'll let you know hopefully next week as to how that's progressing. Another thing I wanted to discuss was pre-existing conditions. If anyone has watched my shorts on YouTube, they will know that I'm legally blind. And although it's not typically life-threatening, it is kind of life-altering. So it's something we have to consider when we move over there as to where we might want to live as well. I would prefer to live in a place where I don't have to drive because I can't drive. I don't have a driver's license. And I'd also like to live in a place where I can get medical service as needed, not for me necessarily, but for anyone in my family. Because if anything were to happen to either my husband or my daughter, they couldn't rely on me to drive them anywhere at all because I can't drive. So that's just one of the things I have to kind of think about there, is where we're going to live and how close we are to certain facilities that we may use. I know in the States I use a grocery app and I have my groceries delivered right to my door, so that's really convenient for me. I don't know if they offer that kind of services over there or not, but it's something we're going to have to look into when we start talking to this company. With my disability, and I'll list the name of the condition I have down below, multifocal choroiditis. It's inflammation of my optical nerve that's causing damage to my eyes. Currently it's being treated by injections into my eyes every 3-4 months or so, and that's helped a lot. This is something I've had going on since, I want to say, 2012 is when I started treating for this. It's also known as uveitis. And I saw a leading specialist. We flew to Boston to go see Dr. Foster there to see what they could do for me at that time, back in 2014. And they referred me to a doctor in San Francisco to work with me because he couldn't treat me across state lines and be able to actually look at me on a regular basis to see how the condition was improving or deteriorating. So with that being said, I currently do see somebody in the area about every 3 to 4 months to see how the inflammation's going, how it's progressing, if it's progressing at all right now. The injections in my eyes are not meant to improve my vision, they're just meant to sustain the vision that I have currently. So that's something I need to consider, is where my doctor might be located, although I probably will only need to see them every 3 to 4 months anyways, and my husband or my daughter will take me in regardless. But it'd be nice to be someplace that offered these services for me, and that I don't have to worry about necessarily getting anywhere and feeling uncomfortable or unsafe when I go out. I don't think I'd feel uncomfortable or unsafe in any of the larger cities in Portugal, as Portugal is supposed to be one of the safest countries in the world. I think it's more of an issue of being able to find my way around if I needed to, and that might be somewhat difficult. Not too concerned about it, because anytime I go out, I'm with someone. But like I said, I'd be more concerned if anything were to happen to someone and they were reliant on me to get them medical care, as opposed to me getting the medical care needed. So just something that I'm thinking about as we move over there. I've watched some of the YouTubers that go over to Portugal and start, growing a farm, doing renovations and things of that nature. And although that sounds very intriguing to me, it's something I don't think that we will be doing at all, unfortunately. I think it'd be fun, but I just don't see how that would really work for our situation right now. So we'll have to see how that all pans out. Tim and I decided to get an indication on the cost of medical insurance for when we're over there initially, for the travel, health, medical insurance cost coverage that is needed for the D7 visa. We looked at Allianz to see how much it would cost for coverage for the two of us over there. And it looks like with and without the pre-existing condition that I have, the cost didn't change at all. It was kind of odd to me. The repatriation cost went up by $2, but that was the only difference. So based on what I put in there, our date of birth, where we wanted to live, our nationality, and I think I could only look at it for 60 days out, so I cannot get actual coverage at this point. But just based on that information, it looks like it was going to run about $600 and some a month for the two of us to be covered, which actually isn't bad considering the amount of coverage it would provide for us, and that it has zero deductible. Now, of course, our daughter's health insurance coverage will be significantly less because she's so much younger than we are. So that didn't look too bad for us for now. We would want to change over to the public health insurance coverage once we're able to, once we get the temporary residency. But as for right now, for our planning, looks like we need to budget about $600 a month for travel health insurance while we're over in Portugal initially. In next week's video, I hope to hear back by then from the company that's going to help us move over to Portugal, we hope, and I'll provide you with an update on what services they're able to offer to us and a kind of time frame that we'll be working with them to achieve our goals to complete the D7 application, go to the appointment, get our living arrangements done there, hopefully. And next week I'm going to start the decluttering process of the house. With 5 less weeks to work with, I really want to make sure that we're in good shape, and I want to get rid of some of the stuff that we really don't need. So I think I'll start in the guest bedroom as well as in the garage to see what we can maybe put on Facebook Marketplace, what we might want to look at for an antique dealer to maybe look at, and just kind of see what we can do with some of the things around here. I'll give you an update on that next week as we move into week 42, I believe, by then. Thank you for watching.